Hi, friends. I hope you're doing well on this Tuesday. I don't know about you, but I have recognized feelings in me of being discouraged and pretty fatigued lately. This seems to be going on forever and ever, doesn't it? It feels a little bit endless, and it still feels pretty complicated. It's not going to be a simple resolution that so many of us had hoped for. And so for me, that means that I must begin to pay attention in a new way. And I've got some ideas I'd like to share. The first is to attend to yourself. And for me, that always begins with breathing. So the long exhale and the quiet, and then the inhale, and then the holding, and then the exhale. And the reason why we do that is to begin to bring our attention back to the present moment, because that's where we have our ability to think and reflect and to not feel as caught up in whatever feeling state we're having, whatever emotional energy is wrapping itself around us. But that breathing helps us to bring ourselves back to ourselves. So the first is to attend to yourself. The second is to nurture yourself. And I don't, even though I love Oreos, I do not mean Oreos. I don't mean junk TV, right? I mean some kind of honest to goodness nurture, something that actually feeds your spirit. That might be beautiful music. That might be taking a long walk. That might be simply looking at a beautiful sky, the beautiful tree or flowering shrub. It might mean a long, quiet bath. It might mean a time of rest. To nurture yourself in this way brings us back again to the present moment, but also seems to replenish what our spirit is getting depleted from in this time of such uncertainty. The third is, so attend to yourself, nurture yourself. The third is to pace yourself. This is a marathon, not a sprint, and that is becoming clearer and clearer as these weeks roll forward. We will have to begin to pace ourselves and understand that this will all resolve. It just probably won't resolve as quickly as we want, or in some cases in the ways that we'd like. And part of that means that we'll have to work on our sense of patience, our ability to be patient. I'll talk about that in just a minute. But the pacing is very important. And to do that for me, I would like to encourage that you practice non-attachment. So non-attachment is kind of an Eastern thought, but we find it very clearly in Jesus' teaching when he says things like, consider the lilies of the field, they neither spin nor toil, but Solomon in all of his glory was not arrayed such as these. So don't worry about what you eat or what you drink or what you'll do or what you'll wear, right? Don't be attached to certain outcomes. Don't attach to the way you want things or the way you want things to be. But instead, try that letting go, because it frees you then to just be in the present moment where all sorts of goodness is, but where it's hard to see. When we are wrapped up and wound up, we tend to get kind of dogged by the questions. And that, of course, reminds me of Rilke when he says to try and live the questions now because we don't have answers, to have patience about this at times of uncertainty, because then perhaps we can live into the answers when we don't have them, even when we don't have them yet. So I wanted to close with a beautiful little quote from Henry Nouwen. He talks about patience. He says, patience is a hard discipline. It's not just waiting until something happens over which we have no control. The arrival of the bus, the end of the rain, the return of a friend, the resolution of a conflict. Patience is not waiting passively until someone else does something. Patience asks us to live the moment to the fullest, to be completely present to the moment, to taste the here and now, to be where we are. When we are impatient, we try to get away from where we are. We behave as if the real thing will happen tomorrow, later, and somewhere else. Be patient and trust that the treasure you are looking for is hidden in the ground on which you stand. We all want to get back to our lives, and it's not happening as quickly as we'd like. So I invite you to try and be in the present and look for the grace of God, given from God's hands through friends, strangers, circumstances, and receive the grace of God today. Sending you love and prayers for peace and joy. Take care.